Hey guys, Chris McCullough here again to present my second project. This project is the book project, and for my book I decided to go with Divergent. Some of you may have seen it or read the books. It's a pretty good series. I wanted to do this because I wanted to make a cover that was drastically different from the original cover. The original cover is like a photo that's been heavily edited in Photoshop, and it's a very realistic type cover, whereas I wanted a more I guess the word would be dull or more simple cover. So this was my original design. I sat down and I drew up some concepts. I knew I wanted to use the 5 factions, which are in the book, because that's the main point of the book is the factions. So I wanted to use those, so I came up with a design for each of the factions. So I have the fire, the tree, the eyeball, the scale, and the handshake, which represent the 5 different factions. For my original design, I had a sans serif font for the cover, which felt okay, but like many of you said in your comments, it didn't feel right for the book. So that was my first design. My second design was the same design, just without the circles to put them in place. So that was the original, and this is the second. You guys liked the one with the circles, so I kept that one. This was my second week design. I changed my color scheme a little bit to give complementary colors. Changed the font color to a dark blue instead of the black, and also with the faction colors, I toned them down a little bit to give it a more subtle feeling, so they didn't pop so much. And I came up with the design for the rest of the 4 pages. This was my title page. I went with Garamond font because it feels like a very trusted and used font. I felt that it covered this book well, so that was my choice for the font. Just the title and the author's name. Keep it simple. So that's the title page. This was a work in progress table of contents. I hadn't really decided what I wanted to do yet. So this was just to get ink on paper, kind of. This was my chapter 1, also still work in progress. Didn't really know what I wanted to do, but this is how I was working with it. It was pointed out to me that my indentations and my hyphenations were incorrect, so I had to work on those. So that was my second week, and my final week with all the tweaks that you guys presented me is this. So my title page, my front and back cover, I changed the title fonts, so the actual title and the author's name, I changed them also to Garamond because it felt like it flowed better if I just kept the same font. And then I created the back cover, which is the same text that's on the actual book back cover. I feel it goes well, obviously, because that's what the author felt, and it gives a story to the book when you're just looking at the front and back. So changed the font, kept the subtle colors. Between the first and the second edits, I added the triangles in the back to kind of break up the plain background, so that helped a little bit. My title page, kept it the same. Like I said, it was simple. I liked it. Kept the spacing and everything. It just felt right. My table of contents I drastically changed. I wanted it to be divergent, so it was diverging from the center. This book has a lot of chapters, so and this was not easy to do, this whole lining up. I don't know if I did it incorrectly or if there was a more simple way, but it was a lot of spacing to go through to get it how it looks now. So I hope it turned out as good as I think it did. But yeah, so that's my table of contents. And this was my chapter 1. I added one of the faction symbols to break it up some, changed my spacing on the text, and made sure I didn't have any unnecessary hyphenations, and I fixed my my tabbing. So hope you guys like it. Let me know. Thanks. Have a good weekend.